Today on Match Play.
We're right here in Los Angeles at Woodland Hills Country Club, and we're with Scott Baio. And from an actor to a producer to director, screenwriter, Scott, you've just done everything.
Damn, I'm so important, Ray. It's unbelievable.
It's not about how important you are, but it's how you've entertained so
Myself.
many people. We grew up together. We're the same age. And I want you to start by telling me, how did you get from Brooklyn to Hollywood? Now, I know you started in Happy Days around 16 years old, but you'd already done some stuff before that. Tell us how you got into Hollywood from New York.
I just started doing commercials when I was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
and didn't really work all that much because I was very ethnic looking. And at the time, back
You mean
in,
Italian?
Yeah, at the time back in the 60s, in the early, well, I was born in 60, so they were looking for Campbell Soup kids. Blonde hair, blue-eyed kids, and that's what they wanted in the commercials. And then I worked a little bit, did a couple of commercials, and then I read for Alan Parker, who wrote Bugsy Malone and directed
Musical.
it. Yeah, great movie. And I got that movie, and Gary Marshall saw that movie and brought me out to California.
Now put the folks in touch with Gary Marshall. Put those dots, connect those dots for us.
Gary Marshall created Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, Mork and Mindy, on and on. Movies, Pretty Woman. Anyway, he was a big deal. He was a big deal, out here. And he saw me in that movie and liked me and brought me out.
So by the time you made it to Happy Days, you were the grand total of 16 years old. Is that about right?
Ray, honestly, I don't remember. It's so long ago now. It's 40-something years ago.
I think you were 16.
I might have been 15, 16 years old, yeah.
I believe you were about 16 years old. You hit the #1 rated show, I guess, on the planet at that time, certainly in America, Happy Days. What was your experience as a mid-teenager going into that kind of not only pressure, or did you even see it as that, but stardom?
What was it like? It was just overwhelming and frightening. I mean, these people have been there for 3 or 4 years, and it was a monster, right? And how do you walk into that situation?
Yeah.
And I was, however old I was, 15, 16 years old, and I'd been on that studio a lot. They were Paramount Studios. And when I walked on the set the first day of Happy Days, Henry Winkler walked over and gave me a hug, and which really helped me, tremendously, because I was very nervous, and he was.
Did he take you under his wings, as it were?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he did. He's a great guy. He's sweet and genuine.
Did you have your acting legs by then, as far as Hollywood
God, no.
and production?
No.
And you had already done a number of things. How long did it take you to get those acting legs?
Well, that's a good question. I didn't know. When I did a movie called Bugsy Malone, which was what I was discovered in, which was a gangster movie shot in England.
Yeah.
So I kind of saw the process of filmmaking, but during the show, you just have to learn. You just have to. I mean, you're around it all day. And we worked with a director named Jerry Paris, who was an actor.
Oh, super famous.
And
Dick
Van Dyke
Show.
And just a ton of work, and he helped me a lot too. He helped me tremendously.
Stand here, do this, look like this, give me this, give me that.
Yeah, but no, Jerry was more. He wouldn't tell you what to do. He would suggest things to you, and he always wanted to get you in with applause and out with a laugh, and he would help you. Very physical comedy guy. Loved physical comedy, and I was a very athletic kid, so he liked me.
Yeah,
so
because on that TV show, you held the record.
Stars,
you held the record.
Yeah, so I learned from those guys, and it was just hard not to. But to answer your question, I didn't really get any of it until I was probably 18, 19 years old. Because up until then, I was
Okay,
just sort
so
of
by
getting
that
by
time,
on being
yeah, you were.
cute or whatever they thought I was, or just throwing a funny line. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, really.
Yeah.
I was just walking in, saying some lines and walking out. And then one day, I just got it. And literally, it was one moment.
What was the moment?
There was a scene with Erin and Al Molinaro.
Yeah.
Great Al Molinaro, and Erin, dear girl. And he's dating my aunt. And we just came from an amusement park.
Is this Travolta?
No, she played my mother.
Oh, that was the mother. Sorry.
He ended up marrying Ellen as my mother in Joanie Loves Chachi. It's a very strange
You got convoluted.
network.
Well, I was
Yeah.
trying to study, but it gets a little intricate.
Yes. So anyway, we walked in and we had these hats on that had our names on them, and Al was very nervous about it, and he every time we walked in, he said, "What's her name again?" And I was supposed to say, I can't think of her name, dang it, Rita, whatever. And he said, "What's her name again?" I said, "Al, it's Rita. Just read her hat." And it was on the hat, and in that moment, I swear to God, I'm not a actor-y guy and deep guy, but I just got it.
Yeah. At that moment,
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Now, did you come into the set every day, what they call bathroom perfect, where you had every word perfectly memorized, ready to go, and the other stars' words memorized, so everybody knew everything? Or was this a little bit more kind of off the cuff?
Well, there's always a script that you have to adhere to, but I was fortunate enough to work for Gary Marshall and Jerry Paris, and if you had a better line, great. If you wanted to change it to the way you might say it, great, and it worked better, great. If it didn't work better, then you were sticking with the original.
Is it still that way today?
It depends on the writer. Some writers are this is my words, you stick to these words, and there's no moving them. But Happy Days was fairly loose. Charles in Charge was much looser.
Yes.
And then as you go on and you get more experience, you know this, right? It's the better you get at this job, the more you can go and jump around and do different things. So, and if
True.
it works within the story, then it's great. If not,
All right.
then you got to go back to what it was.
We'll be back with more Match Play right after these messages.
Mother Nature provides the canvas. We help to make it a work of art. Brought to you by the members of the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America.
There is a place where reality exceeds your dreams, where time is not measured in days, hours, or minutes, but in smiles, new experiences, and new friends. A place where happiness is not a feeling, it's a way of life. Here, you're not just a visitor, you're family. There are many languages in the world, and our smile speaks them all.
Introducing the Putting Stroke Teacher Training Aid.
The putting stroke teacher helps the better player, the PGA Tour player, the pro that wants to get out on tour, because the first thing it's going to do is get these forearms lined up square and your shoulders lined up square. And that's the thing my dad and I worked on when I led the tour in putting, and it's the thing I'm constantly checking today to make sure that those are lined up. And that's going to really affect the path that the putter head swings on. Very easy to set up. You just take two pieces, stick them together, put it on the end of your putter, two little Velcro straps, and boom, you're in and you're ready to go. It's not big, it's very tiny. You can take it apart and stick it in your golf bag. Get the Putting Stroke Teacher and make more putts.
Order the Putting Stroke Teacher today. And now back to Match Play with your host, Ray Adams.
Massive Happy Days success for Scott Baio. Spins off into Joanie Loves Chachi.
Right.
That lasted for a little bit of time, and then Charles in Charge came along.
That show was just.
I mean, we all watched it.
It was just fun. It was, and I mean that. It was just fun.
Were the outtakes hilarious?
Every day on that show, and Happy Days too. But Happy Days, it wasn't my show.
Yeah.
Right. So I was always the co-star, but when it's good to be the king, right? You know what I mean? So, but it was
not worthy.
It was no, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I have no ego about this
I
stuff
know.
anymore. But every day was just fun, and I think that translated through the screen because Willie Ames, who played my best friend on the show,
Yes.
was just crazy in life, fun crazy, and inventive, and would do stuff, and we'd all just
Just go with
off
it.
each other, and the scripts were good. Scripts were really good. It was fun. It was a good cast of people.
You had a great show, and everybody loved
I have no
it.
idea why anything's a success, by the way. I have no idea.
You don't know why they're
why
successful.
anything is successful.
Well, a lot of fun, talented people.
You know what?
Good
right,
writing.
I get you, but
You went off of each other.
In the television business, there is no
rhyme or
reason
reason.
to anything.
Yeah. Well, we can even skip forward a number of years because you were on a zillion TV shows, movies, producing, directing, writing, all of that, all the way through the 90s and 2000s. And then, of course, we have See Dad Run.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Fun show. I thought it was a great idea. It was well written. It just came out of left field.
Was that very close to home to you, though, as an actor and
that's
taking
what-
care of kids
that's what
and
people were
coming
saying.
home to the
Yeah.
children?
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, it was I guess, a TV guy who retires and he's got to take care of his kids and he has no clue how to do that because he's been in television, and when you're an actor or a popular actor, you're coddled quite a bit, and it's a very childlike existence because you're told what to wear, what to say, where to stand, and you throw a tantrum once in a while, and they, okay, sorry, and then you go to the next
Get him
thing.
back.
Yeah, exactly right. But it came out of left field. My partner at the time just called me and said, I got this script. He said, will you read it? And I said, no. And he said, what?
Were you tired?
I just didn't feel like doing anything.
You didn't want to do anything.
And you understand, right? I have a daughter that I love. I love more than anything.
We're going to talk about Bailey. Hold on.
And I get to be with her.
Yes.
And I have the luxury, and I have the God-given gift that I have the ability to just be with her.
Yeah.
And I can just hang out with her, and God
Yeah.
has been, God's been very good to me. And I didn't want to do anything, so then he sent me the script, and I didn't read it. And I said, do you like it? And he said, yeah. I said, okay, then do what you want with it. And
But you became the executive producer.
yeah. And he called me 2 weeks later and said, we're on the phone with the head of Nickelodeon, and we sold it to him.
Yeah. Now, what was it like to be the executive producer and the star? Is that a juggling act or no big deal?
No.
What does it mean to be an executive
It
producer?
means you have a little bit.
Tell them.
To be an exec producer means you have power.
And a
And
checkbook?
that's pretty.
You got to pay the bills?
No,
No, you don't?
No, not in television. No,
Why I
you-
got to pay the bills as
no,
executive
it-
producer?
It's all done by studio.
I need to
and-
hang out
and-
with
and
you.
network. Yeah, man. Oh, come on, you're cutting the wrong deal, Ray. You're paying for shows.
Don't worry
We
about.
gotta have a talk.
We're going to have a long talk.
Lord.
What about the podcast?
Oh, I just started doing. Okay, now there's the
You went digital on us.
There's a discrepancy here. There's a podcast and there's a YouTube channel, and I'm told they're not the same thing. Do you know what the difference is?
Well, the difference is how you put it up there.
Okay, well, it's on YouTube.
I think.
It's subscribe. I'm not real good. Subscribe, ring the bell.
Yes.
And whatever else you're supposed to do to subscribe to
How do you
Scott Baio
monetize
Official.
that? You have sponsors?
We're going to, and just what I really want to do.
We're
is
going to.
I want to start doing interviews and stuff. I mean, I would really enjoy that.
You want to interview me?
No.
Can I be the first one on your show?
I'd love to interview
You don't believe the story you're going to get?
Okay.
It's unbelievable.
Oh no, I'd love to do it.
Oh, no, I'm teasing.
No, because I find,
Okay, let's do it.
I just find it's interesting to me to talk to people, right? So yeah, you're on, brother. Once we get it rolling, but I just people's lives, because you don't know anybody and what they do, how they got there.
You know, you're so
Like,
right.
How did you get here?
And there's a zillion stories out there, and
Yeah.
they're all so compelling.
We'll be back with more Match Play right after these messages.
There is a place where reality exceeds your dreams, where time is not measured in days, hours, or minutes, but in smiles, new experiences, and new friends. A place where happiness is not a feeling, it's a way of life. Here, you're not just a visitor, you're family. There are many languages in the world, and our smile speaks them all.
Introducing the Putting Stroke Teacher Training Aid.
The putting stroke teacher helps the better player, the PGA Tour player, the pro that wants to get out on tour, because the first thing it's going to do is get these forearms lined up square and your shoulders lined up square. And that's the thing my dad and I worked on when I led the tour in putting, and it's the thing I'm constantly checking today to make sure that those are lined up. And that's going to really affect the path that the putter head swings on. Very easy to set up. You just take two pieces, stick them together, put it on the end of your putter, two little Velcro straps, and boom, you're in and you're ready to go. It's not big, it's very tiny. You can take it apart and stick it in your golf bag. Get the Putting Stroke Teacher and make more putts.
Order the Putting Stroke Teacher today. Golf. Yeah, you love it, but we all know just how frustrating it can be. That's unless you were born with a golf club in your hand. The Legacy Golf Performance Center is a virtual golfer's paradise designed to take your game to brand new heights. Yeah, that high. Our certified and friendly professional staff utilizes all state-of-the-art golf technologies to help get you swinging and putting just like a pro. You got that right.
Creating a revolutionary product starts by asking, what if? What if we loaded every inch with game-changing innovation? What if we had a flight tuning system to control ball flight, roll face and cup face technologies for explosive power, slipstream sole technology for more speed, and dual carbon tech with 8 adjustable loft settings? And what if all this technology and performance costs significantly less than the competition? Exotics EXS by Tour Edge. Pound for pound, nothing else comes close.
And now back to Match Play with your host, Ray Adams.
Okay, let's bring it up to date a little bit now. You married Renee. She was a stunt woman, an actress. You met her on set, I guess, somewhere.
No, I met her at a
You met her at a party.
Whatever. Yeah.
Well, you told me on the radio show when you were on my NBC Sports radio show, Great America Golf. You said, "Here's the guy's way I met Renee."
Oh, right.
We were at a tennis tournament. I looked at her. I said, "What's that?"
Right.
Is that about right?
Exactly, pretty much. Well, no, the way you got to put that in context is you asked my wife what she liked about me.
Yes, I did.
And she said, "Oh, he looked me in the eye and he was talking to me and he really listened," which I don't do anymore. And and he was warm and he opened the door for me. She went on for 3 minutes about all these emotional
Yeah,
things.
I did the same thing for my wife.
No, I know. You asked me. I said, "Yeah, I saw a rear end walking across the tennis
Well,
court." I went, "Whoa, what is that?" And that was
That's
pretty
kind
much
of what happened to me too. I mean, the guy's story is a little different
So,
than the
is
lady's
that
story.
sexist what I just said? I don't care.
I think it's attraction, and those principles that attract us.
I don't subscribe to this.
Yeah, it doesn't matter anything about that. All right, so Renee and Scott Baio married, and they get pregnant because you had a TV show that said Scott is single at 45, and a year
Pregnant at
later
46,
he's pregnant
yeah.
at 46.
Yeah.
So now you're pregnant with twins.
Right.
And all of the Hollywood glamour and all of the Hollywood that everybody out there in TV, the viewers, the fans looking, saying, wow, and all that, the reality hits you of life at that point. And I'm sure you'd had other reality checks. But there was a reality check, and your faith in God, and together with Renee, you had something dramatic happen.
Yeah.
Take us through it.
Well, how much of this do you want to know, Ray? I don't
You
want
were pregnant with twins.
But
you lost one in the middle.
My dad died in within all this.
Oh.
This
no.
was. So I'll give you the quick version. My father dies on March 31st, 2007.
Uh-huh.
The next day, I guess April Fool's Day, right? Renee, I'm in the funeral home with my brother and sister, and Renee calls me and says she's pregnant. So, the dealing with the death of your dad, and my dad and I were very close, and
Yes.
he took care of me, and he was a wonderful man. And so my brother and sister and I were dealing with this situation.
Yeah.
She calls me and tells me that, and by the way, we weren't pregnant.
She was pregnant. That's absolutely 100% true. After four kids on my part, I can tell you, she's pregnant.
How you doing, honey? Everything okay? What do I? You want me to hold your hand? Okay, great. Push. So, anyway, so she went home one night and she has a problem. We rushed to the emergency room. They say you're having a miscarriage.
Yeah.
And we go to the doctor the next day. You're having a miscarriage. I'm sorry, and blah blah.
But
blah,
you knew she was carrying twins.
No.
Did not know it.
She's pregnant.
She's pregnant.
Twins.
She loses one baby and continues to carry the other one to full term. And Bailey Baio is born.
Right.
A beautiful daughter.
Yes.
And then what did the doctors tell you?
4 days after she's born, they call us and say, well, you got to come back in here. There's a problem. She tested for something. And okay, what did she test for? Short story is she was flagged for a very rare metabolic disorder called glutaric acidemia 1, which is as bad as it can get. It's mental and physical disabilities. And
can it be fatal?
Oh, it is eventually. I mean, they don't. There's not a long life in these.
Glutaric acidemia 1.
And it happens in children.
Metabolic disease.
Metabolic disorder, which I didn't know what that even meant. You know, I knew what metabolize meant. I knew what disorder meant, and I didn't know putting them together meant.
Yeah.
So now, we don't know, and I'm working. I'm doing a show.
Yeah.
And so now we're going back and forth with doctors, and nobody knows what's going on, and it's all so confusing.
And you're immersing yourself in what this GA1 is.
Right. So my wife finds out what it is, and it's horrible. And then we had to wait. They had, my daughter was she was this big.
Yeah.
My kid was this big.
She was
5
preemie.
weeks premature.
Preemie, yeah.
And they had to take a biopsy, a piece of skin on her arm. We sent it to Colorado. We had to wait 3 months.
3 months.
To find out whether she was healthy or not. And this is all through Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's.
And that was a agonizing.
It was, Ray.
On your knees every day.
I don't know what to compare it to in terms of the horror that my wife and I lived through, because we would argue, because there was so much rage in us. And I remember sitting in church, and in my mind, I'm screaming, "Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
What why me?" And
you were angry with God.
I was angry with the world.
And that's okay, because those phases come and then they go.
Yeah. And I'm getting a little emotional now because
Go ahead.
which is why I've forgotten about what happened. Please forgive me, because I've blocked a lot of it out.
So you're in this 3
so
months.
in this 3
you're
months,
waiting.
and we're waiting, and it's on my mind every single second I'm awake. And I'd have a conversation with you, Ray, but and I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
So 3 months goes by, and the way we found out that she was healthy was just absolutely insane, like the whole rest of the story was.
Well, they call you one day and say, "Hey, it was a false positive."
They said, "Well,
she's fine."
They said, "We'll call you on Friday." UCLA said, "We'll call you on Friday and we'll have the test results by then." Okay, so Friday comes and goes. My wife and I are out. We're in different cars, but the Bailey's 3 months old, and she looks on her cell phone. She's got a message from UCLA. She gets in her car. I'm behind her in my car, and she's calling. I'm calling her.
This is unbelievable.
She says to me, "T-Mobile is updating their whole system, and I can't get my voicemail."
Oh.
So I'm like, "What the hell, man?" So we get home, and we race in the house, and there's a message on her. Remember the cordless home phone?
Yeah.
She can see UCLA call from that.
I still have two.
She picks up the phone to call. The phone dies. The battery wasn't charged. She puts that down. She gets another phone. She goes in the room. She calls. She dials. She checks to check her messages. And I watch her listening, and she hits the ground.
Oh.
And my heart just.
So you think it's the worst?
Yeah. And I said, "What's up? What's happening? What's happening?" She plays it for me. "Hi, it's so and so from you. So I just want to tell you that your baby's okay."
False positive test, baby's okay.
I tell you what. You want to talk about
what happened?
Resurrection?
Yeah.
In a human being?
Reborn.
Me and my wife? Party time. Wonderful. Thank you, God.
So you have a perfectly healthy baby, Bailey, who's 3 months old. It was a false positive test for the GA1. But during that time, you had learned so much, you had been through so much, and you probably even met other parents and families that were going through it for real, that you decided that you were going to put on a big, huge start the foundation, Bailey Baio Angel Foundation.com, Bailey Baio Angel Foundation.com, And then to fund that, have this big, huge, bring in all your Hollywood friends, loads of people, sponsors, and have a big, huge golf tournament here at Woodland Hills Country Club. This is what, your 5th year?
Yeah. Now you give me a little bit too much credit, Ray.
Well, Renee did all the work, and you show up.
No, but pretty much.
And
No,
Megan.
but what Megan? Yeah, great Megan. But what happened was, once we got the all clear, I was like, "Where are my golf clubs? I'm going to go live my life."
Okay.
Right? I'm going to have my wife and my baby, and life is good. So and I would walk by the baby's room when my wife would sit on the computer, and I said, "Honey, I'm going to go and blah blah go play golf, whatever." I said, "What are you doing?" She says, "We have to help these people," and I said, "What people?"
Yeah, what people?
So she found a whole group of people that had no voice, had no way to get the word out there, but they weren't being helped.
And it's such an obscure disorder.
It didn't catch anybody's attention, so this is why we decided to help.
So you're having
She
this
said,
huge
"No,
tournament,
we're helping these people."
raising hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to help these people with research and make awareness of glutaric acidemia 1
And
the
all metabolic disorders.
all metabolic disorders. But that's not all that you and Renee do.
What else do we
My
do?
goodness, did I sit at a table last night with a bunch of people at your birthday party
Is that
who
heartbreaking?
lost their houses, burned down to the ground in the huge California fires last year, and you and Renee reached out to them 6 hours away and helped them. How about it?
Well, my wife and her friend loaded up a truck with supplies and drove up there, and because these people had nothing. I mean,
Dirt. It was down to the ground.
And the people are here today. Some I don't think any of them are playing golf, but they're all going to be there. Then they're all here helping, and they want to be here. My wife helped them tremendously. But I tell you what, man, these are some of the best people on the planet. Lost everything, and they're here to help. And they just, you've met some of them. You met them last night. They're
met
just
a bunch.
sweet,
Unbelievable.
sweet people.
Great, normal, nice,
Yes.
beautiful,
They
whatever
lived in
normal is, I
paradise.
don't know.
No, they lived in paradise, and everything's gone.
Yeah.
And now they have to start over again, and that's not easy.
Scott Baio and his wife Renee. Scott, I got to tell you this, and for no other reason, because I don't do this unless it's true. He and his wife not only love God, but they love people.
Some people.
Well, we could talk about that. Should we get into that?
No. You were going to be
You got to
nice.
watch this
You were-
podcast on
you-
YouTube.
You were going to be nice, Fred.
I'm going to be on it, so then we're going to really get into it then,
No.
because we have the same kind of little views and stuff.
Keep being nice about me. Go ahead.
But down to earth, great people, and when I see that, when I experience it, when I feel it, Scott walks up to me last night at his birthday, and he looks at me, and I knew what he was thinking. He said, "It's my birthday party. Who are you, and why are you here? I don't know you." We had to put it together.
Yeah.
But Scott Baio, thank you so much for
Ray,
being on Match Play today.
my
and
pleasure.
Keep
Thank you.
entertaining us. Are you going to keep acting and producing and entertaining us?
You know, I don't really normally say this because I really don't do much, but I'm kind of working on something. Kinda.
Ooh.
But I hate saying that because it always sounds such a Hollywood thing. What are you doing? Well, I got this, that, and the other.
Are you writing something?
Yeah, kind of. I'm just goofing around. So right
I'll
now,
get it out of him. Don't worry.
Right now, nothing.
I got his phone number. I'll get it out of him.
Well, if anything happens with it, I will let you know.
All right.
Thanks, Ray.
Scott Baio on Match Play. Thank you, buddy.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
fit, spend less, play better. HL4 by Tour Edge is custom fit innovation for every golfer. Dial in your game with state-of-the-art technology designed to outperform clubs costing twice as much. Hand-built in the USA, backed by a lifetime warranty, and shipped with our 48-hour delivery guarantee. Shop online or visit one of our 750 fitting locations today. HL4 by Tour Edge. Get fit, spend less, play better.